All right, we are now streaming live. So, welcome to the hot seat. I'm excited to introduce our guest. I'm just going to mute the other because it always pulls it up on Facebook, so then you hear me and delay. And anyway, this time I got it ahead of time. So I'm so excited to have our guest here. This is Ranveig, and she is calling in all the way from Norway, which, I mean, let's be honest, would this be happening pre-COVID pandemic? Why we didn't think of doing more of this kind of stuff before the pandemic hit. But I guess that's really kind of a blessing of the pandemic, as we've learned to communicate in different ways, and it's sort of expanded our ability to reach out to people on the other side of the world, which is exciting and fun because now it seems like you're right next door in a way.
That's true. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. And we've had the ability to chat for a little bit leading up to this. And then, of course, today we had a chat about some of the things that you've got going on. So, explain a little bit of what you're doing right now, because I find it fascinating, some of the changes that you've made in your life. And what it really speaks to me, and I think people really need to tune into this message, is that nothing is set in stone. We can make decisions and change the trajectory of our life, no matter when, what age, what time in our life. And we need to consider making decisions that will ultimately benefit our happiness.
Yeah, that's true. I think I have to say thank you for inviting me, Deva. And the reason why is because going live like you do in such a natural way. When I saw you, I thought, oh my God, I wish I could do this. So just that's really what I was thinking. So I'm so
Um,
happy I can be here and I can share some, my journey because as you say, nothing is made in stone. And to me, I feel really that life is a journey.
yeah.
And I've been in this journey and also in my spiritual journey for many, many years. And to make it short, it's like I was this kind of girl, always been like talking to people and like maybe more introvert than I seem to be many times. But anyway, what happened when I was a little, I was bullied, when I was little, I was bullied quite much from I was 5 until I was 13 years old. And that made an impact on me. And I made some, not the best choices when I was a teenager, and also much inner conflicts and low self-esteem, low self-confidence.
Yeah.
And but okay, I went on and then I became a single mother when I was 21.
Oh,
And then
wow.
I was in with only debt and no, no, um, not much income and no education.
Yeah.
But somehow I was like, okay, when people ask me, they say, okay, what are you going to do now? And then I remember I said, when my son is 6 years, I will have a bachelor degree. So I was very determined about that, and I did.
Amazing.
And I had another, now I have 2 children. I have 4 grandchildren. Became a nurse when he was 6 years old,
Wow.
and after that I took a master degree in nursing science, and then last year I defended my PhD. So uh, it's been a really a journey in academic world, and also I raised my children mostly alone. So then I was quite sure that when I was finished my PhD, I would, you know, teach students in the university college and do research. But then something happened when I was finished, and I was starting a project in systematic review, going to do that with colleagues. And then I had to just, after a little while, I had to be honest and say, I actually do not have the energy. I feel like this is not what I'm going to do. And it took 5 days. And I thought, I am not going to be in the university college either. So I was like, thanks for happening. And I joined a mastermind group with Bob Proctor
Oh, nice.
and for some months, and also worked really on my mindset, and because I've been interested in that for a long time. So, and I jumped into building brand on Facebook using my profile. And for me, like, that was first, for some months ago in November, December, I thought I could never do that. Use my Facebook profile and do posting and go live, or. And then I suddenly one thought came: why not? What are you afraid of? Should that stop you?
Yeah.
And then I thought, no, I do it. I just do it because I want to overcome my fear. And even if I'm afraid, I want to do it anyway. So I did.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's called courage.
So now I know I'm blushing because I get so engaged, but this is like, yeah, this is my story. So I've been online for 3.5 months. Now I have decided to have a time, not a time out actually, because I'm really doing things, but to go in depth and learn and educate myself more, and also the further journey. I want to plan for that. So that's
Amazing.
it.
And we were talking a little bit about what that looks like for you because you just joined Project Next.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Which, for those who don't know what it is a course created by Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi with the help of a bunch of people like Russell Brunson, Brandon Bouchard, Jenna Kutcher, all having a piece in creating this amazing course, which is what I did last year when it was called the Knowledge Broker Blueprint. And I'm so excited for you because it really changed my life in a lot of ways. And I was taking it at the beginning of the pandemic. So it was kind of perfect timing in that, we were in lockdown and I was focused on doing that course. And it really helped give me confidence online because I had no idea what I was doing online. And I had run my own business for 20 years, but all of a sudden I couldn't have clients and work with them one-on-one anymore. And so the world looked completely different, as it did for everybody. And so that course really helped me zone in to learn the things I needed to, and things I never thought I would learn. And so I always say, especially to my younger students, never say never. And you can teach an old dog new tricks because if I learn to do some of the things, anybody can. So I'm super excited that you're going to be taking that course because I think, everybody I know who was in the course with me last year, if nothing else, it's a great community of people and networking to, ask questions, get support, have cheerleaders, people offering support and advice. And it's just a wealth of knowledge in there that is going to help you attain and reach whatever goal it is that you have for yourself. Now, we were also talking about, is it Seth Godin you were talking about?
Yeah, that's right.
And about this writing journey you're about to take off doing.
Yeah,
So
I will
explain a
do.
little bit about that, because I think, one, it's super interesting, and two, it really ties into what I do, and that people don't often make the connection of writing being a way of us expressing our voice and having that voice just in a different form.
Yeah, and I really feel the need of myself to find my voice, even if I have, I know quite much about what I want to do, but to really go into this and explore more, and to also have others to look at what I'm writing, I think that's be great. So to those who don't know Seth Godin, he is an author, and he has been writing, he says, every day since the 90s. And he is also a marketer. He's really into marketing. And he has quite a lot of he has his own blog, and he has several, I think about 10 different workshops. So I will join a workshop for, especially to find my own voice.
Right.
And the way that works is that I have committed myself to write something every day and show up, write something every day. And there is a 24/7 dashboard, so that you come into a group, you join people from all the world, and you probably, I don't know exactly, it started the 25th of May. So, and then when you have comments on your own, and probably questions and so on, and then you do the same to others. And I think this will help me really to understand more about what is touching myself when I'm writing about it, what is touching other people, where can I really find I think about sometimes that we humans, we are diamonds, and we have it in, and we need to just work on it to really, this is what I want to share with the world and add to the world of value. Yeah.
Love that. I love that analogy too, because oftentimes we need to dust it off and polish it up, and there's the sparkle. But some people, they shy away from doing it because they feel they're not a writer. They can't write. They've got it in their head. And to be honest, that was me for a while, because even in high school or university, I would write essays and I'd be super proud of the things I wrote. But the comments were always, "You're too informal in your writing." And I thought, no, that's me. That's my voice. And I felt like I was being stifled. So I just didn't write. And so every time I would write something, or a letter addressing an issue or something, my mom would read it over for me. And she's like, man, she's like, it's amazing that you can read this letter and it sounds as if you're talking to me. I'm like, good, that's what I want. And then I started realizing the strength in that, because I was told for so long that it was a weakness. And that made me angry when I started to see that it was a strength, and that it wasn't a bad thing, that maybe it sounded informal. It was me being able to write the way I speak. And that's how I connect to people. That's how I'm able to build relationships. So when I surrendered to that and I started doing my writing that way as well, it totally changed how, the engagement of my posts. It changed just the relationships I was building with people in the online world as well. So there's power in the written word, just the same as there's power in our spoken word. But all of it is our voice. It belongs to us. We just have to embrace it, and sort of put those limiting beliefs aside, whatever people may have told us in our past, and really just do it. That's the best way to get better at it, is to
Yeah.
keep doing.
I think that's the only way. I have learned that you have to do things first and then you master it. Like you can't wait until you manage it well enough. When you and the special thing about the live things is that you go live and you are here, you are present, and you have to learn while you show up. There is no other way to do it. Of course, you can take videos and so on, but to go live is also to show up and be present in the moment. And And that's quite, I think it's much easier for me today when I'm with you here, okay?
Yes.
Than
Awesome.
to do it alone, and to, there is something in the energy also when you sit in front uh, of a computer. I think many feel that, you know, we talk to ourselves, like we don't see anybody, okay? Or,
Yeah, it's true. And that's why sometimes when people are starting out, my suggestion to them is have somebody else on the call with you, right? It doesn't mean they have to say anything. It's just knowing that somebody is there and that you at least have somebody to talk to, kind of. Because it feels awkward at first because you're talking to yourself and nobody's responding. And we're so used to having that response, or at least feeling people's energy when we're talking. Let's say in a live situation, we can see their reactions, we can hear a gasp, a sigh, a snore if somebody's fallen asleep. Whereas speaking into a camera, you're getting no feedback. And that is where people feel silly or they doubt themselves. All these things start to creep in, like this imposter syndrome. Who do you think you are, being on camera and doing this? And these voices start attacking and we're like, oh no, stop recording. And we're afraid. So it's a process of, the best way to get better at it is just do it, and do it with whatever support you need. So, like I said, have somebody on the call or put a picture up so that you're looking at pictures of people that you do feel comfortable talking to or having a conversation with. So then you pretend that it's them that you're speaking to and not just out into the abyss.
yeah, I think it's a learning curve, and but I think it's really important if you want to be in the online space and you want to have an impact. It seemed to me, even if you don't have to, it's really beneficial that to go live and to have a connection with the audience. And I like to connect with people, and I like to have conversations,
Yeah.
and to have meaningful conversation with people. I love that. So I want to find a way to do that. Yeah.
Yes.
So
It's a bit of a different beast doing a live video versus speaking in front of an audience. But when you can find a groove, so to speak, and you sort of find what works for you, people will come. They'll start showing up. And some days there aren't anybody, but they'll watch a replay. So it's still to your benefit to do it. Somebody may not watch it live, but they may watch it later and they're still going to get the same benefit had they been there with us live, let's say.
yeah.
So, and the good thing about it, doing live videos, especially in a business, with a business mindset, is that they're forever on your feed. So somebody may be looking into who you are or what you do and may watch a video or two. And when you have them there, are doing a video connects with people differently than just reading a post. They see who you are, they feel your energy, they get the sense, right? They judge whether they think you're authentic or genuine, or whether they don't get a good vibe from you. Your videos can say a whole lot to a potential client, or to somebody in your network. So it's always better to do than not do, is my philosophy. But it takes a process, and so if you wait until you're good at it, it's too late.
Yeah. And it's something about, I think, to get out of your own way.
Aha.
That's not, in Norway we don't say it that way, but it's something about, because it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about those we want to serve. So you have to, if you want to serve people, you have to say that this is what I need to do. So yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
love
like,
that. Is
and
like,
that's like being a nurse, you know, when you have to put yourself out you know, even if the day starts, maybe I think about that, going into a patient, I have to leave myself and my own problems or issues out there, because it's not about me, it's about the person, it's about the patient. It's the
Yeah,
same here. So
I love that. That's a really great analogy. And I love what you said too. You got to get out of your own way.
mm,
Sometimes we are the person holding us back.
yeah, mostly it is all right. There are usually nobody standing holding us, but we have this paradigm in our head. We bring them with us. And of course, we need, when we are little, we need, like, look up, you know, look, don't do this, don't do that, this is dangerous. And also, we live in a culture. We have, all of us have a family culture. I sometimes ask my friend, what do you think? How do you think you would be raised if you were raised in a, like, say, actress, whether we were actors, or if there were only entrepreneurs, you know,
Yeah.
or politicians, parents? It's so different what kind of paradigm which will be in your mind. And I
Yes.
find that's very interesting. Okay.
Very much so, yeah. And it's kind of how our limiting beliefs are formed because they're passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah.
My family is my mom's side particularly are immigrants, and they emigrated from Italy, and so their mindset on money and job is that it's scarce and you have to keep a job no matter what because it's security. And even though that's not what happens anymore, they still have that mentality because that's what happened to them 70 years ago when they emigrated here, and it was after the war and all these things. So it's passed down to us, even though we're like, but that's not how the way the world works right now. And so we carry these things. So it's interesting how we as adults put these limitations on our kids because it with the mentality of keeping them safe or healthy or all these things. But really, sometimes it's actually holding them down or holding them back because we're only giving them one viewpoint and not saying, what is your passion? What is it that you desire or want more than anything else in the world? Let's light them up and get them excited about life. Instead, we make them fearful of all the things that could happen that would be bad.
And that's true. And I think that's evolution too, that because if you think about our ancestors a long time ago, all the dangerous things to look up after. So and also what you say is interesting, that about money and having this hard time. And I think that's general in most of also our part of the world, that some 100 years ago, very many was struggling for having food on the table. And this is what is our in heritage. Is that what we call it? Yeah.
Yeah, you inherit it.
Yeah, we inherited. So it's, even if it's in Norway or if it's the United States, it doesn't matter. We have the same history in many ways.
Yeah, most definitely, right? Especially because, growing up, my age group, parents or grandparents lived through World War II. And so their mindset was very different because had they lived through the war, which was passed down to their children, my parents. And so then that mentality just became something that they knew and a way of life, even though war didn't exist anymore in the context it did in World War II. So we pass on these things generationally and ancestrally. It gets passed down to us, and then we get so confused because we're like, why do I have such a bad relationship with money? Well, because you're still carrying those beliefs from your great grandparents who struggled during a famine or struggled to have food on the table. And that's passed down, through the generation. So sometimes we need to stop and go, okay, wait a minute, what is my shit and what is theirs? And we need to start seeing ourselves now in the present moment, in today's world, and cut ties with those things that no longer serve us. It's like Tony Robbins said, I'm sure you saw the challenge last week leading up to the Project Next announcement.
Well, I couldn't watch. I didn't have the time that week, but I joined it without. I joined the
Oh,
Project Next because there were so many recommending it.
oh,
So
amazing.
you should think I was paid to say this, but I'm not.
That's amazing. I'm sure Tony and Dean would love to hear that. They work very hard at serving and helping. And so last week in the challenge, Tony was talking about how, you know, as humans, we are already in the mindset of survival because, you know, thousands and thousands of years ago, we had to really fight for our survival. But back then there were like saber-toothed tigers and there were all these things that could kill us and eat us. So we were of that mindset that anything could come around the corner and kill us. Well, we don't have to worry about that anymore, but we're still programmed that way. So we fear everything rather than cutting ties, saying, nope, we don't have to worry about that anymore. And let's change our mindset to be more present now and to what is here for us in this moment.
And that's true. And I read that 80% of our thoughts are negative and only 20% are positive. And that's also, and that 95% of our thoughts is a repetition of the thoughts we have been thinking through the years. And this is to be conscious about it and understand how thoughts work. I'm also doing a coaching. I'm learning. I'm soon going to be a certificate coach in a few months. So this is something I really work on because the thoughts are actually our ego and our thoughts there. And that's actually the past. It is only the past. And we can, as you say that, okay, that's the past. It's not the present time. We can choose new thoughts to think about.
Yes.
And that's so important. That's so important to us.
Yes, very much so. And this is where, as humans, we need to sometimes take a step back and be retrospective and really reflective, actually, is probably a better word. And really need to think what is serving me and what is not. And our thoughts become things. So how can I change my thoughts to make these things that I'm manifesting be for my highest good, my highest self, and help me be more productive, help me serve, help me help other people, versus being in that mindset that is no longer serving us, thinking that we're not enough, we can't, we should have done, or we made mistakes. And it's hard because it takes a lot of work, and sometimes that scares people. They're like, I don't have the time.
And you have to, I think you have to enjoy the journey because the journey is so interesting. And Seth Godin, he says something interesting. And I also want to come back to what you said about creativity in school, because this is connected. Because what he said is that it has been very important after we have this industrial society, that you have people that we were young, when you're young, go to school, learn the skills so that you can operate the machines and do the things which is necessary in this kind of society, and be happy to have a certain amount of money, work from 7 to 3 or 8 to 4, and be happy and enjoy yourself in front of the TV. Or he didn't say actually that, but something like that.
Yes.
And when you say the creativity in school, because this is also about, I don't know if you watched, I can't remember his name. He's a teacher and he's on TED.com. He asks, does school kill creativity? And it's really, I really recommend. And his name is Sir Donald. I don't know. I can't remember the name, but just if you look at this, just you find it if you go to YouTube and does school kill creativity? It's really great to look at, to hear him talk. Yeah,
I would love to, because I as a former teacher, I'm going to say yes.
you think so too? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, absolutely, I do. We are working with an antiquated education system that was created hundreds of years ago, thinking that it still applies today. Well, things are very different today than they were even 50 years ago. And we tend to try to fit all kids into the same box. It's a cookie cutter modality that is stifling. One, it's stifling the way people learn. And even though we know they all learn differently, we're still not changing things enough to help with that. But we're also shoving things down their throat rather than lighting them up and inspiring them to be passionate about something. And we all know when kids are passionate about something, they will learn anything and everything there is to know about whatever it is that lights them up.
That's true.
And that's evident when we talk to a 4-year-old who's obsessed with dinosaurs. They can put me in my place knowing all the answers, something I don't know much about because it was never an interest to me, but they can tell me what dinosaur lived when, what they ate, who were predators, who were omnivores, carnivores, right? And this is a 4-year-old who can't even read yet, but can tell me all that information. So why aren't we doing that as they get older and inspiring them to get excited about something that they really like? Everything else will fall into place. If they're excited about learning something, they'll want to learn to read. They will want to learn all these, the 3 R's as they call them in education. So I am totally on board with that mentality that I do. I think we're killing creativity. And when you ask kids today, what do you want to be when you grow up? Most of them respond, I don't know.
Yeah, many don't know. And yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they don't. They have no idea what they want to do because they don't have any passion, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, and I think as again that when we have this society we have, it's or the history of developing the school system and the industrial society, it's logical that this was really important. Before this, people usually, many worked at home and had their own small businesses, and so it was another kind of a society then, and people needed to be creative, they needed to think because they had to survive and to develop their own life and have a good life. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, most definitely. But this is where I think you're inspiring people because you did all this schooling, you the ultimate schooling, you got your Ph.D, which is no easy feat. Like that's hardcore. And you're saying, yeah, I achieved all these things I set out to achieve, but it's not what I want to do. This, heading in this direction is what gets me excited. And that we should be excited for people doing that because we should all be free and open enough to go, yeah, this is what excites me and this is what makes me happy. And how can I do it so that it becomes my income? It becomes my way of life.
And that's true. And this is also sometimes I feel that what I did when I went into the online space, it was also to start in first grade again. Okay,
Yeah.
completely feeling new, and of course also that what are people thinking about me now? And I just had to say that whatever they are thinking, that's, you know, that I can understand that people find it strange why I do like I do, but well, I have read about people from, you know, a guy from Harvard, he was a lawyer, but he actually, what he dreamt of was being a wrestler. So he became a wrestler instead, and he loves that. So I think we should not be defined of what we are doing. But I want to use my knowledge and my background, and I have done research on elderly patients from a safe discharge from hospital. And I really, you know, worked much in the elderly care. So I also, I think coping and vulnerability is very important for us people.
Yeah.
So I really also feel that I want to I want to inspire and help people, and especially I want to inspire and help people that wants to help others, because
Yeah.
because that's really something I find valuable, and I think there are so many people that want to help other people. And to do
Yeah.
that, we often need to develop new things, or not develop, but to not get in our own way, but to deal with our fear and to just be uncomfortable and get out of the comfort zone. And yeah.
Yeah. I think when you just said that story about um, the lawyer who wanted to be a wrestler, when we look at people like Harrison Ford, he was a carpenter and
Okay.
said, "No, I want to be an actor." One thing led to another. Next thing, he's in the Star Wars movie, and boom, he's got a career started. Not to say that it's that easy for people, and it wasn't for him either, but he was like, yeah, no, I see my life differently than where it is right now. Same with the actor Gerard Butler. He was a lawyer, and he was like, yeah, I don't want to practice law. I want to be an actor.
Yeah,
And he did the same thing, right? There's so many people that come to the realization and make the switch, and they're much happier. So it's possible, right?
absolutely. And there are many that are in their 50s and 50 plus that are doing like me now and wanting to do. And people talk about retirement. In Norway, we have actually good, you know, we are really having a good, what kind of welfare,
Yep.
and also for retirement and so on. So people are like, okay, when I'm 62, 65, 67, I'm going to retire. But I feel like I I want to do things that are meaningful, and I want to have, I will not be finished. Like, so I feel like, no, I want to invest in myself now, learn new skills, and also to meet the future and to be able to be a part of something really interesting. And I think the online space, if you're not in the online space, and know how to how can you say, work or
Maneuver.
connect with people, I think
Yeah.
it's, then you are, I think it's really beneficial to learn about how to do this. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I keep telling, I said to you earlier, some of my younger clients who I've worked with since they were very young, they're they're seeing me do things like create my own website and all these things. And they've known me long enough that I used to say I was technically challenged. And so now I'm like, hey, you know what? Never say never. Because, sometimes you've got to do things that are uncomfortable, that are difficult. But when you set your mind to it, you can do it. So, I'm living proof that you can teach an old dog new tricks. And if you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen.
Yeah, and it's all in our mindset. So if you think you can learn new thing, you can.
Yes,
That's sure.
definitely. Absolutely. Well, I love this journey for you, and I'm so excited that you're going to be doing the project next. And I'm offering help if you get stuck anywhere. Send me a message. I'm happy to help you through.
Thank
I don't know how the modules are set up. If they're the same as or similar to what we had. Module 4 is a bit of a hard one to get through because it's all the tech stuff. But happy to support and mentor if you need any help getting through it. And it's a great community, so enjoy every minute of it. And I'm excited for the next steps that you're going to be taking to, you know, feel fulfilled and live this life that you've put yourself on the path for. I think that's amazing, incredibly courageous, and I hope inspirational for other people as well.
Thank you so much. And thank you for being, here live with you. It's been great.
Oh,
and it's especially also because talking all this English, and this is still now a learning for me to do, and I need to train on that. So I need to develop my skills there. So this is excellent for me.
amazing. Well, your English is fabulous.
Thank
So
you.
don't put that in as something that's holding you back, because you speak English way better than anybody I know could speak, well, any other language, to be honest.
You are so kind to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, there's my dog. He's mad at me. So keep us posted and let us know how this journey is going for you, because I'm excited to see where it takes you. So I want to be on the journey with you.
Thank you. And we are friends on Facebook, so you just follow there.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. But keep the group updated too as to what you're doing, because I think when we can see other people taking those steps, it helps build our own courage to make those changes and do the things. My dog, listen to you. Come here.
Oh, that's a nice one. Hi.
They're all going to think you're cute, but you're kind of a pain in the bum.
Is it a he or she?
It's a he.
So he wants some attention from you now.
He does. And he can tell we're wrapping up. So this is when he starts yelling at me, because he thinks it's time to go out for a walk. Oh, stop you.
Okay.
So thank you so much for being in the hot seat. I appreciate you. And I look forward, like I said, to seeing what you do.
Thank you very much. And thank you, and have a good day, good afternoon. Okay.
You too. Bye.
Bye.